G'day and welcome back to the channel. Before we start this piece, I just want to preface with the fact that I am not a qualified engineer and everything in this piece is my own personal opinion. Anyway, let's get into it. Ah, the bush. Love it. Love a drive through it. And there I go. On me way. Wait up. Something's tickling my brain. What's tickling my brain, you say? Well, let me come back and I'll get right on into it. So today is a bit more of a discussion piece. I was chilling out yesterday after work and I came across John Cadogen's video here, Rhino 4x4 roof rack, why I didn't buy one. And John's quite an interesting fella. He's I believe he's a fully qualified engineer in his past, and he's been a journalist and still really kind of a journalist. Actually, in some ways he's more of a true journalist because he actually, investigates things and reports on them, unlike a lot of people who say they're journalists nowadays, but that's another rant. So I went and watched this video because I have a Rhino roof rack and I was hoping it wasn't the Rhino roof rack that I had, but it was the Rhino roof rack that I had, or sort of. It was the Pioneer Rhino roof rack. And this is a very cool, stylish looking roof rack. Here's one on a new patrol, and here's one much bigger. On an older body patrol there. And they're a cool looking roof rack. I can see why a lot of people go for them. Personally, I went for them because I have a height limit. I had to get my vehicle to work, and I wanted something I could use to put stuff on my roof. So I got one soon after getting my vehicle, and I got it fitted by the shop. That will become relevant later on. So Tyler Thompson and Ronny Dahl, they both got Rhino roof racks too. Ronny here got one on his Hilux. He was doing up, he still is, a really nice Hilux. It's a project car for him, and he's put a lot of effort into it. And it's a real shame that he now has to go back and rethink his roof, because it looked really cool too, and it looked like a really nice setup. And Tyler here, well, there's his rack. That's the rack. That's not a tail. That's the rack, and these are the mounts and the rails. Sorry, Tyler, that sucks. And apparently this has happened just as he got out to Fraser Island. And Tyler, well, he made the best of it, like we do. Good on you, mate. Still had a good trip. Just still went forward driving, apparently. And I highly recommend, please, watch this video, but make sure you watch these. If you have a Pioneer roof rack, or are interested in getting a roof rack, you need to watch these videos. So, what happened to Tyler's Nissan Navara, and why is Ronny Dahl having to rethink his truck? And why doesn't John want to get a Rhino roof rack? Well, it comes down to two different things. Now, John has very eloquently raised the point that there is a strong nerf to the load limit for this roof rack, and we will get into that. And Tyler has rather effectively made the point that there is a problem with some methods of mounting this roof rack. So let's have a look at that. And this is what happened. What went wrong? So Tyler's roof was pop riveted into his truck, and I think the best way to sort of give an example of this.
Whole rooftop falling off now. We got fires coming towards us.
Okay, so what is the problem with this fitting, this mounting system? So here we have the Patrol, and I'm going to use the Patrol as an example because really, I'm going to be posting this in my club, and most of us have Patrols, so it'll be pretty relevant to these guys. But this is for everyone. So here is an old body Patrol. And along this ridge, the gutter system is a folded or rolled steel gutter welded onto the body. This has some annoying aspects because water just drains straight down your windscreen. And I don't know about the new body patrol, but I imagine it's pretty similar. Well, they do seem to have a little bit of a ridge there, so maybe not. But they have the common on new cars now is this rail system here. So this is the gutter, and the two metal sheets of the roof, they're joined along this, and apparently that makes it a stronger mounting position. But poor Tyler had his mounted to the metal outside of these rails, apparently, and it just ripped straight through with 4mm rivets. So we're talking rivets that you would use to put, I don't know, cup holders on a dinghy, something like that. Maybe you'd use them to put one of those little solar powered fans on a box trailer, an enclosed trailer or something. It's just ludicrous. I have to say, I would not have believed it until I saw it. It just wouldn't. That's what the problem is. They have mounted it with rivets. Now this system can be secured with through bolts, and if you want to see a really good example of through bolts, do watch the rest of Tyler's video. He will show you some proper mounting. So let's now have a look at this load rating calculator provided by Rhino Rack. They do have a load rating calculator that you can access on the web pretty easily, with, I don't think you need all those words, you just need rack load calculator. So it'll bring you to this page here. Now you'll come down this page and you'll select your manufacturer. There's Nissan's and Patrol, and we want 07, and there we go. That's the only body type, so go. 100 kilos. And which system do I have? I have the Pioneer platform and with the RL legs, I believe anyway. And we'll calculate. And there you go. So the load rating is 100 kilos. Well, yeah, I knew that. I put that in. Oh, and look, you've just minused the weight of the roof rack from that. You mean you just minus something from 100, and I could have done that myself at any point. Oh well. So that there you go. 64 kilos of theoretical capacity. That's my payload capacity on my roof. Now it's a reasonable amount. I mean, you could chuck a few things up there, but it's not a whole heap. You think about, you got a high lift jack, probably 25 kilos. People often underestimate things. I mean, if you put a spare tire up there, which is not 30 kilos, which is more like 55, like Ronny says. Yeah. Oh no, sorry. I think it was Tyler that said that. Anyway, it is basically full. I mean, you put your racks up there, you can't really put a high lift jack on there and a spare tire. That's too much, especially when you consider that you've got maybe 4 kilos for the mounts. But then there's this note here. Special note: off-road load rating can be calculated using the formula provided in your Rhino rack fitting instructions. Oh, cool. Those are the ones that I didn't look at because I got someone else to fit my Rhino rack because, short on time. That's great. I love that. Also, they're the ones that I didn't look at when I purchased the thing because I didn't have the guy put it in my nose. They're in the box, or they're on your web. They're on your website. This is not forthright disclosure of information. This is obfuscated disclosure of information. This is, I'm hiding it here, so you have to go and find this now to go and check it out and see if it's suitable. It's 2021. We live in a satisfaction yesterday society. Do we have time for that? I'm not that kind of person. I don't mind deferred satisfaction, but that's a joke. You've got to whip out. Not even all companies have an off-road loading limit. They just have a loading limit. So John's made a very good point there. And as someone who's bought one of these racks, I'm super, super lucky that it's not been the other system, because someone else installed it and they would have used a different system if it was a different truck, maybe. I don't know. Probably. So now I just want to quickly show you what I think was a example of good disclosure, because a lot of these racks are being sold by companies that say they have a 100 kilo limit, or a 75 kilo limit or something like that, and they're not openly disclosing this to their customers either. However, I came across Sunshade Products Roof Rack World, and they do seem to have what I think is a fairly good system.
And I was wrong. Well, you'll see what I mean. If you come down the rabbit hole with me here, this looks like a good system. Let's have a look at what happens when I went through and tried to do this scene.
So you come along, here's their website, and you come along and there you know, all these different roof racks. Oh, look at these are great. Oh yeah, sick, I might get that one. And, you know, load rating. Alright, so click on this, and if you click on this here, it takes you to this web page. Hello fella. Now, it lets you do a bit of reading and understanding different loadings, static and versus dynamic. This bit here that the mouse is circling around, this is from Rhino's roof rack fitting instructions. And let's just focus on this to explain it a bit. We've got the on-road cargo allowance, or the OR, the off-road cargo allowance, the OFR, and then we got the vehicle load limit, I guess you didn't want to put the R in there, and the system weight. Now the on-road is the vehicle load limit minus the system weight. The off-road is the on-road divided by 1.5. So, and these guys have very kindly done the maths here. So, in this example, the roof load limit is 75 and the system weight is 5 kilos. It's not. It's, as we have seen, 36 kilos. Keep that in mind. The system weight is 36 kilos. So, none of this maths really holds at that. Oh my god. That's ludicrous. If the system weight is 36 kilos and the roof rate is 75, then you're... Oh my god. That's 39. So we got 39 kilos. Yeah, sorry, wake up, mate. And that's 39 kilos left. Now, we've got a 45 kilo rooftop tent listed here. I think you see the problem. Best case scenario, you can't put a rooftop tent. Now I've got 100, so 100 minus 36, of course, is 64.
So then if we now divide 64 by 1.5, we get 42.67 kilograms of usable roof loading. So it kind of looks like a lot of people are going to be going back to a swag and maybe finding somewhere else to chuck that spare tyre. That's abysmal. That's 2 jerry cans. I mean, why do you need a platform the size of a freaking barn shed door to put on 2 jerry cans? Oh, evenly loaded too. That was another one John pointed out. The weight has to be evenly distributed. Is that like I need a really large flat jerry can, like, or do I just put it right in the middle? Jeez. Anyway,
what this means is that if you buy this system, you can't put what you need to put on it. I'm mind blown. Anyway, that's that. So if the moral of this video and John, Tyler and Ronnie's videos is, if you are getting a roof rack, please do extra research and please ask the hard questions. Ask your supplier if there is a off-road load limit and what the actual carry capacity of the rack on your vehicle will be off-road. For the love of God, do not get your roof rack pot riveted in. 3 bolts, 3 bolts, 3 bolts. Bolts through the roof with plates behind them. You will tear your roof with just bolts. Get it done properly. Last thing you want is to have this thing come flying off. Rhino take no liability because of their off-road load limit and how they disclose it, and you probably not knowing it, and then you're liable for this going through someone's windscreen. Say bye-bye, happy life. Anyway, thank you for watching, and a big thank you to John, to Tyler, and to Ronny. I make no money off these videos, and I've done this just for the community to help get the message out there, and also to help clear up any confusion people may have with different mounting systems, and to show mine as an example. As a final quick note, with this mounting system here, the rack itself is of course pot rooted together. Then the crossbars are bolted to these mounts here, and these mounts are clamped onto this rail. All these racks have plastic corners, and they are all screwed through, or they should all be attached with screws, not rivets, on the corners for all the plastic fittings. This one, I don't know. I don't know how it's fixed up here, but hopefully there's bolts there, because if that's all rivets, that can be the problem. And if you're thinking that, you know, perhaps it's only these couple of fellas who's been affected by it, please do check out Tyler's video. He has done a bit of community feedback work, and there is a load of people with this issue. It's a real shame this has happened. This is going to be like ruining a lot of people's trips, probably put some people off full driving, and I can't think of why Rhino thought it was a good idea, which is apparently was, maybe not now, but apparently was their official instructions. Anyway, thank you for watching. Have a great day. Happy full driving. Be safe out there, and be well. I'll catch you next time.